Hi, I'm Anupavitra. I'm going to explain the assessment task. Uh, I'll explain how I loaded and cleaned the Calgary HTTP log data. First, I imported the required Python libraries like pandas for data manipulation, ref for regular expression, and datetime for working with timestamp. I also included Matplotlib, which I'll use for visualization. Then I specify the file path to extracted log file. Each line in the file represent one HTTP request made to the University of Calgary web server. To extract useful information from each line, I define regular expression pattern. This help me break each line into part like host, timestamp, requested file, HTTP status code, and the number of bytes transferred. Next, I open the file using UTF-8 compatible encoding, looped through each line for lines that match the expected format. I extracted the values using the regress groups. I converted the timestamp string into proper Python datetime objects. If any timestamp was malformed, I skipped that line to avoid errors. For the byte size, some lines have a dash instead of number. In those cases, I replaced it with 0 to keep things consistent. I also pulled out the file extension from the file name since that useful later for analyzing 404 error. This information was saved into like dictionary. Each dictionary represent one valid request like host data, our status code, and byte size. Finally, I converted the list into pandas data frame, which allows powerful filtering grouping. I used df.head just to preview the first few rows and confirm the data look clean. The log data is fully loaded and cleaned, structured, and ready for analysis. Now the data is cleaned and structured. I move on to answering next 10 analysis question. For question 1, simply count the total number of log entries using len and df. Each row represent one HTTP request. And for question 2, I count how many unique hosts accessed the server. This tells us how many different users or system interacted with the website. And question 3, ask for a breakdown of how many unique file names were requested each day. I group the data by date and use the unique function on the file name column. For question 4, I count how many requests resulted in 404 error, which means the requested file wasn't founded. I just filter the data frame where the status code equals 404. In question 3, I identify the top 15 file names the most often caused 404 error. This help us to spot missing files or broken links. Uh, and then question 6, I do something similar, but instead of file names, I look at the file extension like .html to see which type are most often not found. For question 7, I filter the data for the month of July 1995 and sum up the total bytes transferred per day. This gives us insight into daily traffic volume. And question 8, I analyze the traffic by hour, grouping all requests by the hour field from 0 to 23 to see which time of day had the most activity. For question 9, find the top 10 most requested file. Overall, these are the most popular resources on the server. Finally, for question 10, I count how many times each HTTP status code appears like 200 for OK, 404 not found, and so on. This gives the good summary, and the server response behavior was all the results are printed and stored in dictionary. That's all about my assessment.